If you're a therapist thinking about starting groups, creating courses, or expanding beyond individual therapy, everyone's going to tell you about the potential income, but nobody's going to tell you about the real investment required. And that's why so many therapists who try to expand end up burning out or giving up within the first year. I'm Anne, and I've seen therapists get excited about alternative revenue streams, dive in head first, and then get completely overwhelmed because nobody prepared them for what they were actually signing up for. I've built a solo practice, expanded into a group practice, launched multiple programs, and created a co-working space for therapists. And today, I'm going to share with you the three types of investment that every successful therapist entrepreneur makes, but that nobody talks about. Because once you understand what you're really signing up for, you can plan for success instead of just hoping for it. So let's start with the big one, time. And I'm not talking about the time you'll spend delivering your program once it's running. I'm talking about the hidden time that comes before. When I created my first therapy group, I thought, I'm already a therapist. I had tons of groups experience. Like, how hard can this be? Turns out running a group as a solo practitioner feels completely different than when you are doing it with a large practice or an agency. I spent hours over months just learning group dynamics, researching curriculum, and figuring out how to screen participants effectively. Then there's all the time you don't see coming. Creating intake forms, developing your marketing materials, setting up your systems, learning new technology platforms. For my first online course, I spent more time figuring out the tech than I did creating the content. And here's one that surprises everyone: marketing. Even if you're just starting a simple, small group, you need to let people know it exists. I know therapists who spend 5 hours a week just on marketing their groups or programs. That's not necessarily bad, it's just real. One therapist I know wanted to start a group. She thought it would take a month to get it going. The reality: 3 months of prep, researching best practices, creating materials, getting the word out, screening participants, then another month before the group was actually full and generating the income she expected. The point isn't to scare you. The point is to plan for it. When you know that launching a group might take 2 to 3 months of behind the scenes work, you can plan accordingly instead of getting frustrated when it doesn't happen overnight. Now, let's talk about money. And I don't mean the money you'll make, I mean the money you'll spend to make money. Unless you're naturally gifted at marketing and business development, you're going to need to learn some new skills. Maybe it's a course on group facilitation. Maybe it's training on the online course creation. Maybe it's working with a business coach. I've invested a lot in my own learning over the years, and it's been worth every penny, but it's still an investment. Then there are the tools: course platforms, scheduling software, marketing tools, design programs. It adds up faster than you think. And here's one that catches people off guard: professional support. Maybe you need a lawyer to look at your group contracts, or maybe you need a graphic designer for your marketing materials. Maybe you need a VA to help with administrative tasks. And finally, here's what I think is often the biggest investment: your energy. Learning new skills, making decisions about your program, handling the uncertainty of trying something new, it all takes mental energy. And you're already using a lot of mental energy seeing clients all day. Then there's the emotional energy of putting yourself out there in a new way. Marketing feels vulnerable. Leading a group feels different from individual therapy. Creating content means people might judge your ideas. And there's the creative energy of actually building something from scratch, designing your program, creating your materials, figuring out your approach. It's incredibly rewarding, but it's also draining in a different way than therapy. I remember when I was launching my Private Practice 101 course. I was so excited about it during the day, but by evening I was completely drained, not from the work itself, but from the constant decision making and creativity required. I had to learn to build in recovery time. And here's what I learned: the therapists who succeed at expanding aren't the ones who have more energy. They're the ones who manage their energy strategically. They plan for the energy investment just like they plan for the time and money investment. So here's what I want you to understand: you're already making these investments. You're already investing your time, money, and energy. The question is, are you investing them in something that's building toward your bigger vision, or are you just investing them in staying exactly where you are? When you stay in individual therapy only, you're investing time in insurance paperwork or chasing down payments instead of program development. You're investing money in maintaining the status quo instead of building something new. You're investing energy in managing the stress of being trapped instead of the excitement of creating something meaningful. The therapists who successfully expand aren't adding investments to their life. They're redirecting investments they're already making towards something more fulfilling and sustainable. So, how do you make these investments strategically instead of just stumbling through them? First, you plan for them. You budget your time, money, and energy, just like you budget for any other big goal. Second, you don't do it alone. The therapists who succeed have support systems, communities, mentors, accountability partners. And third, you start with strategy, not tactics. You figure out what you actually want to create and why, then you build the plan to get there. In my next video, I'm going to show you exactly how to succeed at groups, courses, or coaching without burning out. Because once you understand the investment required, the next question is, how do you make the investment pay off?